What's up, dog? All right, I'm gonna show you how to do this. I keep this in a bag, in the bag, to keep it airtight. I'm gonna show you what I do. I'm gonna show you how to cook. So, it's all in preparations. So what you do, you take this, here, ready? Can you see? Yeah. So what you do, it looks like this, right? You take a little spoonful, maybe like this much, you know, like a spoonful. What this is, it's just mashed peppers and garlic and everything. They just mash it up and then put it in a bag for us to enjoy. But it's actually really easy to make. So use about this much. I'll take a little more, maybe a little more. Right, a little spoonful. And then I set that on a spatula to the side. You can taste this. Just try the little remnants that were on the spoon. But I put, oh my God, spicy. Can you see it? See the spatula? And that is gonna go in here when we're ready. So that's gonna be the first step. I have all my other stuff here ready to go. I have the steak here ready to go. And I just take a spatula into the steak bag. So I'm gonna do this as quick as possible. All right, fuck it, no break. We'll just go straight into it. Okay, is this good? Okay, I'm gonna turn the flame on. Wok is pretty helpful. They have a $65 one on Amazon, stainless steel. I'll send you a link if you want it. Curry paste, put back, seal it up. Right, leave it like this, whatever. Throw it back in the fridge. I'm gonna be doing green curry. Frozen veggies are the fucking hack. Carrots, peas, whatever mix, that's the hack. And then the noodles, it's gonna be these noodles. We're gonna throw them in dry. I'm gonna show you how to do it. It's gonna be great. So there's no oil. It's getting hot. I'm gonna put some oil in. Not a lot, just enough. You just want to lubricate the machine, okay? You don't wanna flood it, and you don't want it to be lean. You just want enough to lubricate your machine, lubricate what you're cooking. All right, so that's gonna get hot. Give it a second. And give it a little more time to heat up. So what we're gonna do, normally you like saute garlic and onions, whatever. We're gonna treat the paste like a garlic and onion that you saute. That's gonna be our start to this whole stir fry. We're gonna keep it on high heat the whole time. I wanna show you this. High heat, right? Can you see? High, high. Don't fuck around, keep it cranking. Keep it cranking the whole time. And if your prep is good, you won't need to worry because it will all work out. Okay? So, sorry. Okay. You know, I can even go higher. Let's do that. I don't want it to tip. I don't want to put the phone in the stir fry. Okay, now you're good. The heat is good. Now watch what we're gonna do. It's game time. In curry paste. Nothing's happening because it's not hot enough. Let's mush it a little bit. You're gonna start to hear it sizzle because it's hot. It's not crazy hot. So we're gonna break this up a little bit. The whole thing when you're doing stir fry is constant motion. Constantly stir the fry. Hence the name stir fry. Okay? You hear it. You hear the sizzle. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. That's what the oil is for. So you give this a minute or two. Let that go. You got coconut milk in here. You can store in whatever you want. But the idea of combining the coconut milk and the paste is to make your curry and dilute the spice to a level of sweetness and creaminess and spice that you like. Okay, once it starts jumping, throw this in. Okay. You play with it. You play with the amount that you like. But you see what's happening now? And it smells delicious. That is your green curry. Okay? Now, immediately, we're going to put steak, because you're going to cook your protein in this. So what do? We have our steak. I think do one more piece. That's enough. Okay, steak in. See what we're doing? We're cooking the steak in the curry. Okay? Now when I do this, I like to get it all as flat as possible and give it as much flavor as possible. This guy's hanging out of the bag. I'll throw him in too. Go! Go, fucker! Okay? Alright. Close up your bag. Push out the air. Throw your bag of meat in the fridge. Now you have this to marinate for a couple days as you take from it. And as you cook with it. Okay. Stir. Okay. Let's see what we got going on. Alright, looking pretty good. Remember, high heat. We don't touch the heat. Just leave it as is. And now we're letting the flavor cook into the steak. And I think you can see it from there, but there's some red still in the meat. We're going to wait for some of the red to go away. You're not going to cook the steak completely, but instead you want to cook it about halfway. So you add the rest of your stuff, and by the time everything's done, they all finish the race at the same time. Okay? See that red? When some red is there, you can put it, touching the pan. Keep everything in the sauce, but keep it all flat too, because you want it to cook, but you also want it to get flavored. Now, I still think it's raw, but I think it's not raw. It's cooked enough. They say undercooked, but still cooked enough. And the point I bring that up because I'm going to start throwing in other stuff. What other stuff? I'm going to put in frozen veggies. Okay. Back in the freezer. I'm putting in dry noodles. I know, it's crazy. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do little hoisin. Just a dollop. Fish sauce. About a spoonful. Little spoon, okay? Little spoonful. This stuff, plum sauce. Normally you want tamarind, The phlegm is close. It's close enough. I couldn't find tamarind where I was, but in Thailand I use tamarind. This all done. Last thing is the dry noodle. You're gonna use chicken broth. Okay, you might still need a little water for this, but see what you got going on now? Mix around the fish sauce and the hoisin and what you just put in. And now over the next few minutes, the noodles will get soft, the veggies will cook, and the steak will finish. And as that's happening, everything is going to be picking up flavor. So for the noodles, I try to push it into the water. If the noodles are sticking out a little bit, it's okay. They're still catching heat and steam from what's going on. And also if they're touching the edge, okay, it's a little bit, it's okay, because they're going to get some char, like a pan-fried char effect on the noodles. So I'm going to let this hang out for a minute. I'm going to put the rest of the stuff in the fridge. That's really it, dude. That's really it. It's so fucking easy. It's so easy. I'm just trying to get the noodles into the liquid to hydrate these noodles. You could cook the noodles in boiling water before if you want, and then just throw them in later on, like as a finisher, or even now, doesn't matter. But when I took the cooking class, we threw them in dry, and this is what they did, and it worked, and it comes out really good. And the noodles have flavor too. The whole thing is just, it's perfect. It's good. You'll see. So you want to let it hang out to cook, but you also want to watch the edges to make sure it's not taking all the water out of the area, because when all we're doing is removing water from this, right? This cooking is just taking water out of this. But if you do too much, it'll start burning and charring the edges, and you don't want that. And that's when you'd add a little more water, or broth, or coconut milk, or just some kind of liquid that's not cooked, you know, like a hydrated liquid. It's not dehydrated. If that makes sense, just think about chemically, we're dehydrating everything right now, right? That's all. You're adding heat, vaporizes, whatever. You get the point. So you see what's happening to the noodles? They're softening a little bit. Now they're going to the bottom of the pool. Just keep it going. That's it, dude. That is it. For this, probably put it in a bowl like this with a little lip for the sauce. Top it with a lime wedge. Squeeze a lime wedge over it. I have some scallions. Some chopped scallions I'll put over the plate when it's done. And the hack that I've been doing lately is Mexican cotija cheese. I'll show you. Get some of this cheese, throw it on top, dude. Mwah. Perfection. Absolute perfection. You can feel the noodles with the spatula too. First they were super hard, now they're like al dente. I'm gonna keep it going until they're, until they feel like they're soft enough to eat. And you can also test it by kind of like tapping on it. I don't know if you want to break it, but you can feel it's still kind of hard. So you can just tell by looking at it too. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. See how it's starting to get a little gloopy? That's how you know all the water is coming out of this. And this is a point where you might want to think about adding some water. And I know we added green curry and it's brown. It's because of the steak. But in Thailand they do, it's interesting because when you normally get curry here and it's like with the broth, in Thailand that's called soup. So you'd order green curry soup or yellow curry soup. But if you order green curry, it comes dry there. There's no sauce because they do this and they cook it all into the food. So see, this is getting a little dicey right now. It's a little sticky, so I'm going to add some water to this because I need to loosen it up again. I put some water in the container from the fridge. Just a little bit, not a lot. You don't want to kill your flavor, but you also don't want your stuff to start sticking and burning and playing that game. You can see the edges too. See how they're starting to sizzle? That's how you know there's not a lot of water left in here. But it's good too because we're getting close to the finish line. I'd say the meat's been done and it's fine. Your boiling meat makes it soft. And especially when you prep it and cut it like this. So this is thin cut sirloin that I got from the steak, that I got from the store. It came thin cut like the thickness, but then I sliced it and cut it into these bite-sized pieces. So that's the other part. You want to prep your meat to be bite-sized. You ordered Asian food, it's always cut like that. Just prep your meat, then throw it in a marinade in the fridge. It's super easy. So the steak's been done, veggies have been done. At this point, I'm just moving this around to get the noodles to cook. Let me throw a little more water. I just need these noodles to start to finish. And once that happens, I'll also show you another trick if you want to get like a charred effect on the noodles. You can kind of push them against the pan and let them hang out for a minute to let it sizzle against the pan. I'll show you once this is done. So if you can see the noodles, see how they're starting to move like noodles now? I'd say they've just entered the window of completion, but I'm gonna keep it going because I want them a little softer. I feel them and I want them a little softer. And I also want to put a little bit of char. I love when this has some char. Just a little. Like, see how this guy's kind of hanging out here, and these guys are hanging out here. This guy's hanging out. Very subtle. We're not burning anything. We're not abusing anything. But we're just putting heat to it to give it a nice little effect. We don't let it hang out too long. You can play with it, you can experiment, but you don't want it to hang out too long because you don't want things to start burning. See how we're starting to get some buildup over here? That's because things are losing all of their water, and the oil has probably reached the smoke point and everything is just tapping out. But it's all by design because look at the noodles. We're basically done. Okay. See? So then the trick that at the end, that's what I was talking about, is I just go like this. And kind of push everything up against the edges. You hear that sizzle? You also notice how there's no more liquid or broth. It's all evaporated or vaporized or whatever. But look at the noodles. They're done. See? So you're just balancing liquid in the pan. You're not adding oil, you're not adding any, you don't have to add anything, it's just water. And water and chicken broth are interchangeable. Right? This and water is fine. It's just that has electrolytes and vitamins and flavor. So that's it. You know, maybe let this hang out for another minute or two and then it's done. That is it. Not bad. I'm gonna give it a minute. I'm gonna kill the heat. I'm gonna show you how I plate it. And that'll be it. I think it's done. Green curry beef, noodles and veggies is done. Look at that. Come on. Kill the heat. I like to push it all together to hopefully make it easy to get into the plate. Remember the fun part. Plate over the pan just in case of horrible, horrific emergencies. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look good. Okay, so then you have the bowl right there. And something else I do to make it easier to clean the pan later. You never want to put cold water in a hot pan because it can warp and crack the pan, but you can put warm water in the pan. So I like to take a little hot water. I'll run the sink and put hot water in the pan. That way later, it's easy to clean. Hot water from the sink in the pan, and I covered, I'm gonna put a little more, but you want to cover the ring that you see from the buildup. That way it covers it, and it's just easier to clean and scrape later. Okay, just let that hang out. Now, finishing touches. Where are we? Okay, ready for this? Okay. Let's see, hot cheese. lime wedge. Oh yeah. Oh, baby. And that's it. Bueno appetito. Enjoy.